Yes! Little plain elemental boy. Ah, okay. 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 Yeah. Latest progress will be saved. Yep. Save it. Alright. Back to the fortress. I wanted to do one more video. If I could remember where, the man cave is. Lamau. I always forget. That's the Ripon Terrarium. Here we go. Alright, so that was the last one I needed. And now that I have, this motherfucker, I also have the Icon of Men. The longer the Icon of Men becomes, the stronger he is on Earth, you know. I wanted to look at the toys for the collectible Slayer. Good outfit for the Slayer. I love the way it looks. Although, I think Dark Ages has it beat with the cape and all that. I can't wait to get all the toys in Dark Ages just to look at all the collectibles. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that we can always see his face underneath, but that's a personal thing. He's cool looking. Little guy. Arachnotron. Yeah, I love the way these look. And yeah, I know I can just hit L1 and R1, but we're gonna look at the toys themselves as well. Arachnotron, got a goofy face. Yeah, these guys are cool. According to the lore, they were made from bits of the original Spider Mastermind. Which, I assume means that, like, its DNA or something was used. Because as many Arachnotrons as you fight, there was not enough of the Spider Mastermind to make that many. Maybe one or two, but not the many that we see. But yeah, the Arachnotron's cool. It gives a good first enemy. It's nice to see it returning from Doom 2. It looks really cool. It follows the shtick of like the cultist-based stuff. They're returning in Dark Ages, which is also nice. And I like that it is a good introduction to weak spots because it has 5 of them. I think it has the most weak spots, but 5. But yeah. Good, real good. Hehe, we got the Archvile. These motherfuckers. I hate them, but I love them at the same time. Honestly, I actually don't hate them as much as I used to. They look so cool in this game. I also like the idea that they're intelligent. They're a lot more intelligent than your standard demon. They translated really well. It's a good mix of like eternal. It's a good mix of modern dooms like a keratinous armor plating exoskeleton thing that the demons have, and the classic. It translates really well. The way that these guys shake up encounters is fun because an encounter will be going so smoothly, but if you don't know that an Archvile is spawning, it can very quickly turn chaotic, which is fun. I mean, it can also be really annoying, but it's fun. And as you saw me throughout the playthrough, once you know when they're gonna spawn, you deal with them right then and there, and suddenly it's not a big deal to fight them. Like, encounters are no big deal. Now, the DLCs, you don't really have that luxury unless you have a BFG. But, yeah. They're not that difficult to take down. Like, they have a lot of health, but they're not particularly mobile. The Baron. So I think it said in the lore that the reason they're all black now is because they, like, bathed in some part of hell to become stronger. I might be remembering that wrong, though. I've not read the lore in 3 or 4 years. I appreciate that it's the 2016 model, just charred black with the blades on it. I miss the Red Barons. The Black Barons look cool, and I like that their insides, when you start shooting them, are all molten. But I miss the multicolored Barons, personally. But they still look cool, and they're a good addition to the game, even though I feel like they're overshadowed by a lot of things. Once you come across them, they're just like, nah, it's Barons, whatever. And I don't think that should be the case. I think that a Baron should always be like, oh shit, we gotta, like, lock in here. But the Barons in this game aren't super special, in my opinion. That's just me, though. The little Cacodemon. Little guy. The best design for a Cacodemon. I remember I used to prefer the 2016 design, but I was very wrong in that this is, like, I think the best they've ever looked. They're gonna look weird in Dark Ages. They're all pulsating and shit. But I also like it. Dark Ages seems to be like the Doom 64 of modern Doom, and a lot of the enemy designs are gonna look weird and strange, and I'm all for it. But yeah, Cacodemon looks cool, all the energy inside. These demons are an excellent example of why you need to know the weaknesses of demons. Because if you let a Cacodemon roam around, they will mess you up. They will not give you an inch. They will mess you up. But if you know their weakness, the shotgun grenade, as you saw when I was playing, they're no big deal. They're free health, basically. You have to wait around for them to do their whole, like, animation when they swallow the thing, but other than that, free health. But yeah, they look good. I like them a lot. The Carcass. One of the new enemies in Eternal. I love these guys. A lot of people hate them. A lot of people think they're annoying. You know, like they're obnoxious. They get in the way. All that. And yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. But their shields, if you shoot it with a plasma rifle, actually can help you because they will damage and falter other demons. Also, I love their, like, redneck hillbilly design. You can tell that these were, there was a theory, I think by Roanoke, that these were resistance leaders. Or not leaders, but, like, these were members of, the ARC's resistance that D. Granick has been turning into, drones for the demon side of the war, and I think it's a really compelling theory, especially due to how between these and the mecha zombies, the way that they're just cobbled together for function, like they look so mass-produced. I feel like there's definitely some merit to that, but I like the Carcasses. I think they're a cool addition to the game, and they make encounters a little more dynamic. The cue ball. I don't know why this is here. You find these guys in like 3 or 4 different places in the game, and then they're never seen again. I know it's the possessed engineer from 2016, just bloated a little more, a lot more stylized. But I preferred the possessed engineer look, personally. Not a fan of their, like, bloated, dopey look in this game. It's not a bad look. I don't think it's awful, but I just prefer the other one. I do appreciate all the tanks sticking out of them, though, and all the fire. Very visually striking, so I will give it that. Nothing much else to say, really. Oh, you can zoom in. The Cyber Mancubus. I love this design in this game. I absolutely love it. They're all nasty looking. I like that they're fully armored. I wasn't, at least at the front, I wasn't a fan of 2016's Cyber Mancubus. It didn't look bad, but they looked really goofy. Just looked like a big, like, dopey fat dude in a suit. But I love how fully armored they are here. It's like the cultists or the UAC took inspiration from the Doomslayer and just fully praetered them out. They show you the power of Blood Punch. They if you can hit them in the head, again, talking about weak spots, I know they don't have any weak spots that blow up when you hit them like the regular Mancubi do, but I really like that they teach you more about the game. Also, I find it funny that their metal armor is warping because they use the base Mancubus model animations. But they look cool. I like them. I'm not a fan of the Eternal Mancubus design, but I like the Cyber Mancubus. The Doom Hunter. This is one of the toys I actually have. I also have the Slayer, of course. I mean, I've said this multiple times. I absolutely love the Doom Hunter. He looks so cool. He has a big weak spot. They're formidable. They're intimidating to like see them in the in combat. They're deadly. They have history with the Slayer. They're so cool. One of my favorite additions to Eternal. One of my favorite modern demons. I really hope we see Agadon hunters in the Dark Ages. I'd be surprised if we didn't. But yeah, I absolutely love the way they look. And just the variety of attacks and how they change up their attacks as they go along. Like, you know, they shoot a bunch with their artillery when they have it, and then when they don't have it, they go to melee and all that and get more aggressive. But yeah, I love the Doom Hunter. Just a giant death tank. The Dread Knight. These guys are annoying, but I actually think they look really cool. Their lore is also super messed up. Like, I think I talked about it in the Necrovol video. They're in a constant state of adrenaline-fueled rage, and when they kill things, it releases a hit of dopamine to them. So literally, killing makes them feel better. They are literally the demonic mirror of the Slayer, because the Slayer's really no different. He's just doing it for the humans, whereas the Dread Knights do it for the demons. I love their design. I wish the legs were more armored, but it's so cool. I love them. There's not much else to say about them. They can be really annoying, but they're really cool. The Gargoyle, the little guy with his teeny little wings. These guys, to me, feel like they were like a design that was thrown together on a slow day. Because they're really weird. They have metal augmentations, but they're not cultist augmentations. They've got this metal jaw, they've got the blades in their their hands, they've got the spikes in their ankles. I mean, I suppose it could just be something that Hell does to make them suffer. Also, the only story we get from them is that, oh yeah, on their toes too, is that they are a frequent scourge of sentinels. Like, they'll take livestock and people from sentinel-based worlds. It's very strange. These are very strange demons. In-game, they don't add much. They're just another light imp. they're pretty much indistinguishable from an imp, except they fly and they shoot faster projectiles. So they spice things up, but ultimately it's just more chainsaw fodder, in my opinion. I don't really have a strong opinion on them, one way or another. They're just kind of there. Okay. The Gladiator. Whoop. I wonder if they made a thing of, I wonder if they made this toy, because he looks really cool. The Gladiator, I'm kind of indifferent to. He's a good fight. He's a pretty difficult fight, at least he can be. He's pretty relentless, but I don't know. He just seems very out of place to me. Like, I think he would make more sense in the Dark Ages than he does here. Granted, it's a Sentinel world, they're very medieval, it's a gladiator pit, you know, so it makes sense. I think there's also one thing I do appreciate is that it's a classic Hell Knight. It's got the Baron stuff on it, but it's normal. It's like it's got that nougat color to it, and it's clearly been in the arena for a long time. But yeah, I love that it's basically the classic Hell Knight. I do appreciate that about it. But other than that, I'm kind of sad its shield isn't in this model viewer. It seems odd that it isn't. Honestly, the whole model viewer, a big misstep in my opinion. I think you should have been able to toggle through the different damage types. Like, just as a way to show off the damage system. Like, maybe hit, like, square while you're in the model viewer and they just explode and you see like the skeleton underneath the base, like ripped up version of them. But yeah, this Gladiator, he exists. The Hell Knight. Speaking of, they're cool looking. I like them a lot. This is definitely the best they've ever looked. Ironically, this is one of the few designs that actually survived Doom 3, which I think was for the best because the Hell Knight didn't have a design of its own in the classic Dooms. Like I said with the Gladiator, it's just a Baron of Hell but nougat colored instead of red. But yeah, I like them here. I like that they, in 2016, they were pretty much the Doom 3 design, but I like that they gave them eyes and sort of almost like a bat-like face here. It works really well. They're still just as relentless as they were, and you can see that they're an underling of the Barons, just because they look so similar, but they're just a lot smaller and not as intimidating looking by comparison. The Humble Imp. A good merging of the 2016 Imp with the classic Imp design with all the horns on its back. You know, it's an Imp. You can't have a Doom game without an Imp. They're not the most interesting to look at. They can be kind of annoying. They can be surprisingly deadly. But, you know, it's an Imp. That's really all I have to say. If a Doom game didn't have them, I'd be annoyed because you have to have an Imp. But they're whatever. They're there. The Con Maker. She has her wings. I think the Con Maker is a really good antagonist. Because she has some layers. She's not a one-note antagonist. Like, Olivia Pierce, her motivations were... Well, let's see. So, Olivia had understandable motivations, I think. She had very human motivations. It started with, I don't want to be in pain every time I move, and then went to, like, you can be so much more. When, when she says they promised me so much, I feel like she's definitely referring to the Makers. But The Con Maker has... I think the Con Maker has a very believable motivation in that she wants to save her planet. Like I said in Sentinel Prime, it's the Sentinel Prime video, as humans, I don't think we can say we would be any different. Like if the Makers were dying because humans were sucking up their energy, I think we would very much have a it's us or them mentality. Now, some of us would probably defend them, but, you know. I noticed her arms are kind of plantigrade. It's kind of odd. But yeah, Con Maker looks cool. She's a good antagonist, I think. I hope we see her in the Dark Ages, even if it's just like here and there. And I also like the parallel that underneath they look like Spider Masterminds from 2016. They have a similar look to them. So it's clear that Olivia was like... I think it's like becoming a magma worm in Elden Ring, when it's like, this is the closest humans can get. And she had like all the Maker technology on her. But yeah, this is cool. I like her. The Lost Soul. The exact same model from 2016, except the red on them is now pink. It's kind of funny. The Lost Soul is in the Cultist base, and then after that, they are delegated to just being pain elemental projectiles. Which I'm fine with. The Lost Souls are obnoxious. I despise them. I hate them in 2016. I hate them in Classic Doom. And I'm honestly glad that they're not so much of a menace in Eternal. That's about it. They're there. I don't like them. But, you know, they're classic. The Mancubus. They even put, like, a little thing in the middle to suggest it could turn, or to show where, like, the different molds were made for the toy. So, I don't like the Mancubus design in this game. I understand that it's more classic, like the classic games, but I don't like it. I don't like how big and ogre-ish it is. I know that's the point of a Mancubus. The whole point is that they're these big, blubbery, nasty brutes. But I think the 2016 design looks the best. I think that's the best Mancubus, and I'm sad that that was apparently a one-and-done design. Because, I don't know. I like the more insectoid look. Also, why do they have tubes going into their ass? It's very strange. I mean, I know it's cultist tech and it's like going all throughout them, and it's just like a profane kind of look. It's not the worst design I've ever seen, but I have my preference. They're still cool though. They're obnoxious. These are the only enemies, I think, that I have a problem with gameplay-wise because of that slam they do. They do it too fast. There needs to be an animation where they rear up and then slam down, which the Dark Ages has, actually, judging by a lot of the pre-release stuff that we've been seeing lately. But it's like the one thing where it's like they'll look at you and then all of a sudden their hands are just down on the ground. It's not a very fluid animation. It looks kind of weird, and it's just it'll result in some bullshit deaths. But that's not a problem if you stay back. Unfortunately, the super shotgun rips through them, and you have to get kind of close for that, especially with the meat hook. But that's neither here nor there. Can't really have a Doom game without them, so I'm glad they're here. I'm just not a big fan of their design in this game. The Marauder. The single most divisive enemy in this game. You either love the Marauder or you hate it. Or, sorry, you either love the Marauder or you're bad at the game. I'm sorry to sound gatekeepy, but the Marauder is not a difficult enemy. He is perfectly manageable. He is among the most predictable enemies in the game. He is the closest thing Doom has to a mini-boss, in my opinion. in terms of like how he shakes things up, and he shakes things up in a much needed way. They never use him in a situation where it's like ridiculous, in my opinion. Even in Horde mode, even in the DLCs, there's never a moment where a Marauder appears where it's like, okay, this is just too much. He's never too overwhelming, as long as you keep your head. He's very, very, very fightable. If my dumbass can do it, people should have no problem. This is the one place where I'm gonna like be a little asshole and gatekeepy and get goodish, but he's not hard to fight. He really isn't. And he looks and he looks so cool. I would be very surprised if we didn't see them return in Dark Ages with like some gnarly design. But we'll see. The Maker Drone. The Babushka Doll. Spooky. You know, they're here. They're nice little ambient fodder enemies for Urdak. I think they're cool. They're not super complex or anything, but I like them. That's all I gotta say. The Mecha Zombie. One of my favorites because of... I feel so bad for these guys. The way... I mean, so first off, these are the new Hellraisers. If you remember the Hellraiser from 2016, this is basically the replacement to it. These guys are the living embodiment of life is pain. If you watch them like walk around or move or do anything, they look like if you've ever walked across like your front yard, or if you've walked across like a gravel driveway, the way that you walk is it's like ow, 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 ow. That's everything they do. Which leads me to believe that these were also members of the Ark Resistance, because just life is pain, man. You can tell every step they have, all that skin and everything inside is just pulling. All the metal is just pulling them, like all their tendons and shit. And you gotta put them out of their misery. But their design's really cool, and I think they're a good addition. Pain Elemental. The Meatball. This fucking toy. Whoever put this toy where it is, you deserve to be executed. Or at least severely reprimanded. The Meatball. They look so good. They translate really well from Doom 2. They look a lot better here than they did in that game, though. They look really goofy in that game. Like all the leather on them. I think... It's funny, I felt like these enemies had the most health for a long time, but the Ballista's just godlike. I love their mouths and all the different segments to them. These poor guys, with their lore, where they're basically have a furnace in them at all times, and they're just constantly producing dark, lost souls, it's like, It's mercy, what we do to them. Which is messed up. But that's hell for you. I hope, considering the Keiko Demon is getting a wild new design, I hope we see them with some gnarly new look. Oops. My fault, bot. The icon of men. No. No. It's not supposed to be like this. Yeah. The Pinky. I hate the Pinky in this game. For one, I hate that it's actually pink now, and it's not red. I think they looked better in 2016. I preferred the red color, but you know, they're pink. They've always been pink, so them being a more bubblegum color in this, it makes sense. But yeah, they are so annoying in this game. I hate how they made them extra armored on the front. Like in 2016, you could get away with shooting them in the head, and as somebody who is an idiot, I like that because shooting them in the back is a task sometimes, and I hate them. I hate that they're always charging. I hate their stupid little squeal. I don't like them. I do not like them, Sam. I am. I do not like them one bit. And I am so glad that Dark Ages is reworking them to be these giant, static, like, beasts. Until you get the rider off, in which case they start moving around. But I'm so glad they're not these charging little gremlins that'll just fuck you up out of nowhere. The Prowler. So as I said in my Cultist Base video, these guys are from Doom 2016's multiplayer mode. You could play as a Prowler. It was the most complex demon to play as, I'm pretty sure. It was a lot smaller. It was just an imp that was purple with the face you see here. But I never played Doom 2016's multiplayer, so I don't know how annoying they were there. But they're a menace. They're an absolute menace in this game. But I really like them. I think they're really cool. The Cursed Prowlers can go fuck themselves in Ancient Gods Part 2, but I like them a lot. I think they're cool looking. They have good proportions. They're a subclass of the Imp. They teleport. They're very aggressive. Surprisingly durable. But they keep things interesting. And I respect them for that, even if I don't necessarily like dealing with them. The Revenant. I don't like the way they look in this game. I don't like their, like, hillbilly-looking face. Or this giant, like, apparatus they're in. I know they look more classic, and I know it's more like cultist maker technology. But I preferred how they looked in 2016. I think they looked better. I preferred the dull eyes and all the blood on them. Like, they looked a lot creepier. They just look like little gremlins in this game, and they don't look good. It's definitely a clean look, and it is more classic, but it's the eyes for me. If they didn't have the glowing eyes, I think that would be a lot better. But they just look too much like a rawr monster type of thing, and it just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. But I like that they're here. And in Dark Ages, they have a really cool look. The Humble Soldier. These guys translated so well. They use the exact same animations from 2016, but they translated really well with the green hair and the bulky look to them. I like that it kept the arm blaster and the jetpacks to give them some more mobility. They translate nicely. As you can tell, these were like frontline soldiers who were turned into demons. Got the 3 fingers. With the third one being the back 2 fused together. They look good, and you can't have a Doom game without the soldiers. The Shield Soldiers. Significantly less annoying than they were in 2016 because you have the plasma rifle. They're really cool. I like the shotgun arm they have. I like the progression of the soldiers because you have the basic one that's just like a multi-hit one, a gun. You have these ones with the destroyable shields that have the shotgun, and then in Ancient Gods Part 2 you have the chain gun ones that are red with a helmet, and they even have their yellow hair with a shield that you can't break, so you have to hit them from behind. I like the progression. These guys start to like disappear later into the game when the carcasses really start to pop up, but you see them every now and then, and their shield is always a good a good way to falter enemies around him. Good addition. The Spectre. Skip. Okay. I mean, it's a Pinky, but invisible. It's just worse. I will say the Spectres, their heads aren't armored like the Pinkies. I mean, they are. You can see it, but like they don't. You can hit them in the head, and they don't. It doesn't take as many shots. That's about the only saving grace they have. I still hate them. So, yeah. Moving on. I have this one too. My favorite demon in the whole series, the Tyrant, the Cyber Demon. How far we've come from a boss in Doom 1 and Doom 2, to the final boss in Doom 3, to a major boss in 2016, to a mini-boss in Eternal, and a mini-boss in Dark Ages. They have wings. Oh, they look so cool. Absolutely my favorite enemy. And he translates so well from the classic. Like, oh, he looks so good. The glory kills with them are cool, and they play with like their size. Like, you cut the ankle, you have to wait for them to fall down, and then you cut their head off, or you jump on top of them and you like ride them as they fall. Oh, they're so cool. I'm so glad that the Cyber Demon keeps coming back because, yeah, he's so good. Absolutely love him, and he's done so well in this game. The Whiplash. Or the Tyrant, as the Cyber Demon is called. The Whiplashes are cool. I like him. It's the only female demon that we have right now, which surprises me. I think they're done well. They're very annoying. They're very wily. The DLC adds invisible ones, which is annoying. But I think they're very cool. They're very unique. I think they're described as Hell's Torturers, if I'm not mistaken. But they have a really good design. Have like that lost soul face and the cultist tail and all that. I don't really have much else to say about them other than that, but they're cool. And again, they have good dynamic gameplay. They remind you of the importance of the ice bomb if you've not been using it. Just good all around. And of course, the humble zombie. I'm sad that the Hell zombie isn't in the model viewer, but, you know. These guys are really ugly. I don't like how they look in this game, I'll be honest. I prefer the Possessed in 2016 with their weird, like, one eye. Again, it's the eyes and it's the gums for me. But it's mostly the eyes. I feel like they should have kept the more skull-like faces that didn't have so much skin on them. But, you know, it's a fodder zombie. It's not like, you know... It's not a deal breaker. And, you know, they're fodder. They exist to be killed, to replenish your ammo. They're part of the gameplay loop. The combat puzzle, you know? What is this, like... Oh, it's just the ribs. I like how the pants are, like, there, but they're not. It's like, is it mud, or is it pants that have melted into their skin? As well as, like, on their shoulders with their shirts. But yeah, they're there. And last but not least, I'm sad we don't have his uncloaked version, or his unarmored version. But... always forget to do that. We have the Icon of Sin. I was so happy to see this guy in the last trailers of Eternal. I like how his one arm is stuck out more than the other. They did such a good job with him. He looks so good. This is the Icon of Sin. This is what id wanted to do with the OG, but they couldn't do it, so they just made a head on a wall. So this is them finally getting able to do what they wanted to do. And I love that it's consistent with the other, like the Hell Knights and the Barons. Like it's got the goat legs. It's got the goat legs, but it also has like the feet of other demons. It has the a similar body structure to them. It's got the horns. I like that even the horns, they decided it was necessary to armor them. But yeah, I love the final encounter with this thing. And it's also another being in a Praetor suit. So yeah. And that's all of them. I really wish that the DLC enemies had toys. Like, I wish you could look at the Dark Lord in the model viewer. I wish that you could look at, the Spirit, the Bloodmaker, the Armored Baron, the Screecher Zombies, Curse Prowler, Stone Imps, the Hell Soldiers in Imora, the Dark Lord, of course. I don't know. I wish they were here, but they're not. I guess, too, it's because you can't go back to the Fortress of Doom, and they'd have to shuffle them around and all that, so, But I love that they keep bringing this feature back. I hope it comes back in Dark Ages. I'd be surprised if it didn't. And then, of course, you got the 2016 boy. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. I'll probably end up doing Dark Ages, not Dark Ages. That scared the shit out of me. I probably and a UAC ammo crate, the Gauntlet. I probably will end up doing the DLC just because there is some important story stuff in there that you need to know for context for the Dark Ages. At least I feel like you will need to know. But yeah, this is going to be it for the main game. So I said it last time, but I'll say it this time. Thank you all for watching, those of you who stuck around, and I'll see you next time. Adios.